I'm with Ron Wunderlich at Hand Chevrolet, and we're going to look at the Chevy Volt today. Ron, tell us all about the Chevy Volt.
Well, the Chevy Volt's been in a concept in production for quite a few years. Was finally sold in 2010 and made available to the entire country in 2012. One thing Chevrolet says about it, and as you'll see in a few minutes when we drive it, it is more car than electric. It's an electric-powered vehicle with the motive force to the wheels coming from 111 kilowatt motors, and they provide all of the motive force to the car. Although it has a 1.4 liter engine, a gasoline engine in it, the only thing that engine does is provide electricity when the battery power gets lower to move the car. So it is more, and it feels and drives more car than electric. It's a car that the feeling that you're used to having in a car without giving up anything to get the advantages of the 94 miles to gallon estimate on the electric side that you would with some of the other vehicles. And there's even a phrase coined for it, which is called accord anxiety, meaning that some vehicles have a 32, 34, 40 mile range when they run on electricity and only electricity. Then at that point they just stop, just like your electric battery powered electric Razor, where this in essence although it has a 327 mile range, in essence has an unlimited mile range. You can drive it from New York to Los Angeles like you would any other car.
Where am I going to get the electricity? Can I plug it up in my garage?
You can plug it into your household current. There is a 120 volt charger that comes with it, and there's an auxiliary charger you can have installed at home for 220, 240 volt, which is very similar to what your electric range uses. It'll charge in 10 hours on 110 volts and in 4 hours on a 240 volt charger. You can set the vehicle to charge if you have an electric company that charges you different rates at different times of the day for peak demand. You can set the car to accept the charge during certain hours, so you can plug it in when you get home from work and then not have it charge until, say, 9 o'clock at night when your rates go down. You can also do that remotely with the MyVolt MyLink app on a smartphone, an Android or an Apple smartphone.
And how many miles, say again, how many miles do I get with the electricity, and then how many miles with the what you call extended range?
The electricity will power the car depending on your driving habits, the temperature, the technique and terrain that you're driving in, for up to 40 miles per charge. Then after that, the gasoline engine will kick on to power the generator, to power the motors to move the car. It also uses a system called regenerative braking, which actually spins the electric motor backwards to create electricity to go back into the battery as you slow down and coming down hills.
What I'm trying to do in my head is a cost comparison between what it's going to cost me and my monthly electric bill.
Well,
and
if we can walk over this way, we have a comparison right here on the window sticker, which is your 94 MPGE and savings over 5 years of $7,600 based on gasoline at $3.95 a gallon when the vehicle is driven for 15,000 miles. Gasoline economy is 37 miles per gallon, or 2.7 gallons per 100 miles while running on the 1.4 liter engine.
That's
So it gives you does give you the best of both worlds, and also the batteries are warranted for 8 years or 100,000 miles. So, and for a replacement if they fail to hold a charge within those time frames. Under the hood, it very typically resembles a, quote, normal car, which it is. You have the gasoline engine, and these components are for the electric drive system. The large orange cables are a higher voltage system than normal in a vehicle, and it also has a 12-volt battery like most cars have, which is located in the rear of the car.
Can we take a ride in it?
Sure, let's get in and take a look at it. I'll show you how the instrumentation works, which is a little different. It takes a little getting used to, as does the braking. If you don't mind, let me drive first. I'll show you how everything works and looks in the car, because it does take a little getting used to, and then you can have a chance, an opportunity to try it. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay, now as we get in the car, the one thing that's a little different is how you start it. There's a power button right here. You push it, the car will come alive.
So there's no key?
This particular one has no key. On the left side here is your battery charge. We have 30 miles of electric only motive force that we can use, and 170 miles of gasoline in the tank for a total range of 200 miles. On this side, we have an efficiency meter, the little green ball, and the idea is to help keep the green ball in the middle by not over accelerating, and as you're braking, it'll also tell you that the energy is being applied back to the batteries. In the center, you have your normal speedometer in digital readout format, and on the bottom you have your trip computers, trip odometer, engine oil life monitor, and a tutorial on how the car works. You also have electric parking brake and drive mode selector. You have 3 drive modes: a normal, a sport, and a mountain mode. And it changes how the electric motors provide motive force to the car. What it does is it replicates different types of transmissions by only using the electric motors and changing the way that they spin. And to put it in gear, we just pull it back like you do any other car, and we're off silently. The vehicle is also equipped with a pedestrian warning, since it is so quiet in battery mode, to let people know if you're in a congested area that you're coming. You also have a display in the center unit, which is your audio controls and your power flow. Right now we are using the electric force applied by the battery, which is the green indication is the long bar. And you can change the information that you're seeing on the center display. And that is, if we plug the car in current right now, on 120 volts, it would have a full charge at 12:45 p.m. and at 240, at 10:45 it'll be fully charged at 10:45 a.m. and which is currently actually only a few minutes to charge. And you have an indicator as to how you're using the energy.
Your driving style is 0? Can you explain that? 0%?
Right now I'm driving in the most efficient means.
All right. As
if I quickly accelerate, that percentage will change, and depending on what mode is selected also. That's the percentage of the how efficient you're driving the vehicle. And then you have your energy use
There's a lot to look at.
So we used 0 gallons
so far
since we've left. Now we have 20 miles left on the battery, and once we depleted that 20 miles, this would change over to the gas pump would turn green, and it would show you how many miles to the gallon that you're getting. As you can tell, it's silent. It's at idle, so it's silent because it's no power is going to the motors. You ready?
Yeah.
Step on the brake and put it in drive. And you're all set.
First impressions, very smooth. It's quiet. And as Ron demonstrated, it does accelerate very quickly. It feels light. I don't know how else to explain that. There's so much to look at. As a newcomer to this, it's a little overwhelming.
Try the braking before we get up to the stop sign.
Oh, that is different. It's very firm. Very firm.
Where it says regain power recovery is because you're stepping on the brake, and the electric motors are actually turning into generators, putting power back into the battery.
So we've already gone through, it started with, the first one was grayed out. So we've gone through 3 cells.
Right now we're down to 15 miles of range on the battery.
Okay. So all the electrical stuff that you'd use, like the radio and the lights, they all draw off the battery too, I would assume.
The normal vehicle electrical components, the exterior lighting, interior lighting, the audio system, run off of the conventional 12-volt car battery. So you're not using your lithium-ion power source to provide power to the peripherals.
I read recently, in doing research for this article, that the Motor Trend magazine rated this car very highly in safety. The national, what are those initials? National Safety...
National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Right, they rated it very highly for safety.
It is one of the highest rated vehicles on the market. Also, the International Institute for Highway Safety has it on their top list of safest cars. It was also the Motor Trend Car of the Year for 2011.
Ron, what's the suggested retail on this car?
This car lists for $45,369, but you also get a $7,400 tax credit to most individuals off of your income tax.
Here we go. Now we have 170.
Now we're on engine and battery power. The engine is charging the batteries and providing the power to the electric motors, and we have 176 miles of gasoline power remaining in the vehicle before we need to stop and fill up. The engine generator will never provide enough power to both power the wheels and give a full charge to the battery, so you will have to plug it in at some point.
Here than there were earlier. Do you want it back in that special spot?
Well, you just park it right in front of the building would be good.
It's very smooth. The pickup is great, and it there's no hesitation.
Would you agree it's more car than electric?
Yes. Well, I've never driven an electric car, so I really can't compare it. But what I would think would be, it would be like,
A lot of people get the impression that driving an electric car is going to be like driving a golf cart, and there was nowhere near that, was it?
No. A golf cart. No, it was nowhere near like that.
Now, you had made a comment, Kathy, while we were driving about the just being distracted by the display. This is also your audio system. So if you find it distracting, you can always set it to the normal radio functions that any car would have. And the color display is across the board in the industry now. With all your premium radios, you have a color display. It's also the touchscreen. And while you're parked, you can play DVDs. So if you're waiting for someone to come out of a doctor's appointment or something, you can play DVDs on it. It will be disconnected when you put it in drive.
Okay.
And it's also your climate functions are on here, your touchscreen, with your heated seats, your fan speed, temperature, and it has an echo mode for the air conditioning, which will run the compressor less to keep the economy.
Okay.
So it'll use less energy to keep it cool in the summer. Hopefully I was able to answer your questions for you.
Yeah, it's very exciting. This is the trend of the future, and it's exciting to see these things.
It was a long time coming, but they did a very nice job on it, and has very nice features, performs very well, and also has a great warranty.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
It's great to meet you.